Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a bunch of massive leaks to go over, and they truly cover a wide range of topics. I don't really know how to preface this, so let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So in this world, there's a couple different kind of leaks. We have leaky pipes, a leaky butt maybe. I think there's a vegetable called a leak, and then gaming leaks. We're going to be covering gaming leaks today. First, we have one of Nintendo's most notorious consoles, possibly leaking for Nintendo Switch Online, at least in my opinion. And then some of the most popular Pokemon games of all time were almost called something else, as well as the follow-up for Crash Bandicoot 4. Is this thing happening or is it not? So before we get started, if you could, hit a like and subscribe. It would truly mean the world to me. I am going out of town today, the day this video goes live. I will be back tomorrow, Friday. I will be doing a stream right here on YouTube, giving away some eShop gift cards and celebrating 10,000 subscribers. I know we're a little late, but just been dealing with some anxiety and stuff. So Friday night, come hang out with the community. Let's celebrate this channel and the success because you're a big part of it. And I'll be giving back to you guys. Let's just have some fun hanging out. Now, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So if I were to ask you what Nintendo's most notorious console is, that can mean a different things, you know? You might think I'm talking about the most popular, or your favorite, or the most talked about console, but in my opinion, it would have to be the Virtual Boy, because it's so damn strange. It's an early adaptation of VR, and I can see what they are going for, but it almost feels like something made up. Like if you didn't know the Virtual Boy was a console, and somebody showed it to you and you're like, hey, Nintendo made this, you would think it was like a prank or something that somebody would make up for April Fool's Day. But when you talk to people who have actually played it, they'll admit it isn't the best console, but there was something there, and it actually had some pretty cool games on it. Some of these games would be awesome to play now, you know? Well, maybe that actually will be possible. So we have a leak coming today from Nash Weedle, and I just want to point out, the day before the Nintendo Direct happened, he literally said that we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game. He might have even said the name of it, I can't remember, but then that happened. So in my opinion, they have a pretty strong track record, and they have a leak for us today. Leak Express. Virtual Boy games are not lost in limbo. Some of the best games on the console are being adapted to be played comfortably in 2D, and it seems that they would also maintain the 3D version. It is not known if they will arrive as a compilation or for the Nintendo Switch Online service. So that last sentence is pretty interesting. Would Nintendo release this as a compilation, as a game, charge like $50 for it? Or would they add it to Nintendo Switch Online service? Which one makes more sense from a business standpoint and for the consumers? Like add it to Nintendo Switch Online? I don't know if in itself it would cause people to buy more subscriptions or just sell it as a compilation. Would it even sell? It truly is such a weird console. But I think if you actually adapt some of these games to 2D and bring them over to the modern era of gaming, they could serve a purpose. In the comments below, let me know if you ever played a Virtual Boy or if you would like to play any of these games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon. One of my favorite franchises of all time, probably because I grew up with it. It's funny, if you try to get people into Pokemon now, like one, the games really aren't that good, but a lot of people have a hard time grasping it because there's like 4 or 5 million Pokemon at this point. But if you grew up with it, you know, you kind of have that attachment to it and there's a little nostalgia. Some of my favorite Pokemon games of all time are Ruby and Sapphire, but it turns out they actually almost had a different name. Apparently Game Freak originally considered subtitling Pokemon Gen 3 as Indigo and Crimson before setting on Ruby and Sapphire. I think Indigo and Crimson would be awesome, but I think also Scarlet and Violet, I think one of those might have been called Crimson in Spain. I could be wrong. This guy and somebody else were looking at some files and they found blah 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 translated as Indigo version and Crimson version. They are apparently earlier names for Sapphire version and Ruby version. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about here, but I love small facts like this because something so minor, it wouldn't have changed the course of Pokemon, but it still would have changed, I guess, some stuff, you know? In our brains, we would have never thought Ruby and Sapphire. Let's get philosophical for a moment. If it was Indigo and Crimson, well, then it would be Indigo and Crimson. We would have never known something else. I could be making up the part about Scarlet being called Crimson in Spain. That is something I could easily look up, but for the sake of this video, let's just pretend that's what it is. And ladies and gentlemen, we have another leak, but this one isn't really anything good, I guess. I'm talking about Crash Bandicoot. The first 3 games are perfect, When you go back and play them, they're way freaking harder than I remember. Like insanely freaking hard and challenging. But that's not a bad thing. They're very fun platformers, and them being hard kinda added to the charm of them. Crash Bandicoot 4 was a very welcome treat to me and people who like Crash Bandicoot, and it probably got some new Crash Bandicoot fans. I didn't think the game did extremely well or anything, but I think it did well enough to warrant maybe some future games. But maybe that's not the case. Crash 5 and Phoenix Labs project reportedly cancelled, which is a bummer. According to a developer who worked on both games, Crash Bandicoot 5 and Project Dragon have been cancelled, leaving fans heartbroken. The developer Nicholas Cole says the fans will be disappointed when they eventually learn about the Crash 5 that never was. Additionally, Project Dragon's status as a blocky crafting game could have made it a hit with Minecraft fans, but the team that developed it made multiple failed attempts to save it. So on the surface, this is bad news any which way you look at it, but maybe another studio or another developer could pick this up. This actually happens a lot in gaming, maybe more than you would think it would happen. Then, sometimes, like, the starting vision isn't the end final result when two different developers or publishers get a hold of something. Crash 5 could have started off something amazing and then fell into limbo, it gets canceled, somebody else picks it up, it gets finished, and it's nothing like it was initially thought to be. But then vice versa, maybe it was canceled, they couldn't figure it out, they couldn't figure out the right vision for it, somebody else picks it up, and it turns out to be a hit. I know Crash Bandicoot isn't for everybody. It's the same thing as Pokemon. Maybe if you didn't grow up with it, you don't really care about it, or you don't have any nostalgia attached to it. But it's an amazing series, it really is. So this news has me bummed a little bit, but maybe in the future we will see Crash Bandicoot 5 eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all this information? The Virtual Boy, have you ever played this console? And would you like to see it brought over to modern times? Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, do you think Indigo and Crimson is better names than what they went with? And are you a fan of Crash Bandicoot? In the comments below, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you could. And Friday night, we will stream right here on YouTube, and I'll do a giveaway, and we'll just hang out as a community. But you guys know me, I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace out.